Affirmative action sets out measures targeted at encouraging disadvantaged groups to participate in various public spheres. In 2006, it was agreed that affirmative action was needed to fill the gaps created by gender imbalances in Ghana's political, economic, and social spaces. Many stakeholders have been engaged with public resources to map out the gaps and put up a bill for consideration and passage. 13 years after initiating this process, the Affirmative Action Bill is yet to be passed. Star Ghana Foundation, as part of its efforts to deepen and consolidate democratic governance in Ghana through its partnerships with the Parliament of Ghana, supported Parliament to convene a high-level national platform to dialogue on the issue.
On behalf of the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, the Parliament of Ghana and the Parliamentary Service, I take this opportunity to welcome you warmly and heartily to this Speaker's Breakfast Forum.
At Star Ghana, we are interested in promoting the notion of active citizenship.
It is even more important for us as a country if we note and recognize the contribution of women to our social, economic, and political development right from the independence struggle. But to note that because of the patriarchal nature of Ghanaian society, our women have lagged behind.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, affirmative action can be situated within the context of Article 17, and it's appropriate and fitting that we turn attention to this.
I have thought of some way, for example, if we should have, among the district assemblies, if we have what one may call electoral areas, where 4 or 5 assemblies put together will become one electoral area. When an MP, and this happens in a couple of African countries, an MP will stand on a political party ticket for an electoral area that is a woman, either during or soon after the other elections. So at the end of it, if you want 50 women, you just divide Ghana into 50 electoral areas. That is contiguous constituencies coming together and forming what we call an electoral area. Then they will be elected as women per se, as women competing among themselves, as a window to ensure that women get into parliament.
I want to find out from her why she thinks that there's the need for that committee, since the Gender Ministry has a whole gender department which is responsible for gender issues. Thank you.
So we have moved from the commission to the committee, and we are okay. In doing the drafting, we looked at other jurisdictions and what they had there. So at a point, that was what we were gunning for, but I think that we are all very comfortable with having a committee at the ministry, so long as it is well resourced to be able to do its monitoring work.
We have 16 regions now. Is it our decision that we want to increase the parliamentary seats? If yes, then why don't we give the 16 regions to the women so that one woman can be elected from each of the regions?
The history of Egypt has shown that the numbers in parliament dropped drastically to below 5% once the legislation on affirmative action was removed with regards to the quotas of women in parliament. And this kind of points to the fact that without the social re-engineering, putting the law in place for women in parliament, once we remove the law, will it sustain these numbers? So I guess my question is, what other measures are being put in place to ensure that while the affirmative action legislation is in place to restore the balance, the engineering at the societal level will be occurring to ensure that if it's repealed at some point, we don't see a drop in numbers in political and other leadership?
The Rwandan experience actually is not even the affirmative action that was embarked upon by Nkrumah, where women were simply just brought. In the Rwandan experience, these women hold their own against the men. We just met them. they were bankers, they were lawyers, they were economists. But the way they implemented theirs did away with the competitive electoral system. And they allowed for designated women group arising from the grassroots to present their leadership.
I would propose that we try to implement quotas. I think you said the Affirmative Action Bill is looking at least a minimum of 30% to 50%, that range. And the 30% goes in line with the United Nations Beijing Conference, 1995.
This particular bill is looking at affirmative action, in brackets, gender equality. So it's only looking at gender equality issues. And it includes women of all categories, rural women, both educated, illiterate, persons with disability. So it's, as an intersectional issue, we don't think that, apart from making it clear that when you're defining women, you're also including persons with disability.
So far as the disability community in Ghana is concerned, we are saying that when you look at the issues the bill is seeking to address through affirmative action, it actually affects persons with disabilities generally. The more it will put better value on money if we actually succeed in doing what Zambia did, in dealing with the gender issues and the disability issues in the same piece of legislation, so that implementation is more effective.
It appears that even in this room, the consensus is in the direction of a quota system. And in almost all the consultations that I've participated, that appears to prevail. But the only controversial issue is the mode of selection. That has always been the most controversial issue. Here, questions about the mode, questions arise as to whether we leave it to the parties or we create safe seats for only women, or we even we change our system to the proportional representation whereby there will be a top-up. There are so many alternatives. I believe that that is where probably we need to fine-tune a compromise.
Various proposals have been made, including whether, and as Dr. Apiakubi, Honorable, indicated, the mode of selection presents quite a bit of reflection. The issue of language and the ways in which it compels or bites, I think it's well taken, Sheila, I believe, in that regard. The notions or the ways in which it caters for persons with disability. We at Star Ghana Foundation, we work with the Federation, and we've offered opportunities for them to see if we can help to engage and have this discussion. And I hope that they'll take it up so that we can facilitate the discussion that there is. Our attention has been drawn to what needs to be in place to sustain the gains that this law will achieve. That successful country experiences, successful or not so successful, Egypt has come up, Rwanda has come up, Zambia has come up. I think we need to be able to contribute something to looking at some of these other country experiences.
Let me end by appreciating Star Ghana Foundation for being the channel through which Parliament has been able to engage more with the citizens of this country. I think we are very, very grateful to you. We will also want to express our heartfelt gratitude to DFID and the EU for funding Star Ghana to do this wonderful work for the people of this country. As an institution, we look forward to partnering you for the mutual benefit of our people.